Okay, man, here's what I need you to do. Just stand in front of it. I'm gonna test the brakes.
All right, now I got this old gallon of milk. I want you to try it out and make sure it's good.
Hey, welcome to Two Guys Garage, man. We are trucked up today. Literally, we have a couple of them. This 04 with a lot of miles, gonna get under the hood and fix some noise.
Yeah, and the other one, a cool 73 Chevy step-side. That's gonna be a fun, ongoing project. You guys stick around.
Okay, nothing wrong with pushing a 10, 12-year-old truck around. I think mine's 15, 16 years old now. Problem is, once you get a lot of miles on it, once you log a lot of time in it, we're talking 190 on this thing, you start to hear some of those wearables and the fatigue that's going on in that motor. Even a lot of times, like when I fire this up, check this out, okay? Listen, like, okay?
Yeah, let it get going. You can start.
Is that valve train? Is that lifters? Is that a rod?
Even a rod. Yeah, man, you're sitting at a drive-through, the noises are bouncing off the wall there, hitting you in the ear, and you're thinking, man, my engine's about ready to blow up.
Okay.
And you have, idle, kind of tick, and then you can have off idle where it sounds horrible. There's two different conditions, but it's the same basic problem, and that's your cam phaser.
Yeah, and a cam phaser, man, a lot of people don't even think about that. The noise located right up in here and right up in here, and the way the oil pather goes, it's typically worse on the right side of the motor. However, when you hear it that loud, get all this out of the way, get that cam phaser exposed, and you really see what it's doing and how integral it is with the design of this particular motor. It's 5.4.
Now we have a really simple and really inexpensive fix. So we're gonna walk you through, we're actually gonna tear this thing apart to see how the technology works. So we're gonna dive into this thing.
Okay, finally we get to the cam phaser. Now here's the guy that's making all that racket. Now first things first, you want to clean this timing chain up, you want to clean the face of this cam phaser up, brake clean, you don't want to spray it on it, just spray it on the rag, wipe it off and find you a place, like this little keyway here that's marked actually on the cam phaser head. You want to take a Sharpie and line this mark up, make sure you get it really nice, colored in to a mark on the chain. Now you want to make sure that when you align this back up, these two marks are directly on top of one another. That way, your timing's right, you got to set exactly where you took this one off at. Okay, now that we got this index, we're good to go there. And on this bolt right here, on the cam phaser bolt, 15 millimeter, it's a torque to yield. You don't have to worry about saving it. You get another one in the kit from Livernois. Also in that kit from Livernois, there's this incredible little tool here. It's a wedge tool, actually wedges down into the timing chain so that it won't move once you take that cam phaser unit off. It's got this little slot on top of it. That's gonna allow you to get a flathead screwdriver and help you wedge that thing into the timing chain. Just one of the cool tools that you'll have in this entire cam phaser noise repair kit from Livernois. I'm gonna get this thing fished down in here. It's a delicate process, but again, like I said, they give you this little slot so you can really push, wedge, and get it in there. Now you want it in there tight. Last thing you want is that timing chain to actually move when you pull that cam phaser out. So give yourself a little bit of time, some patience. If you're good at fishing, right, you're pretty good. Now you want to give her a couple good bumps. Take a hammer. Now just give it a little tug. We'll see if you're snug. Now you get loosening this bolt. That cam phaser comes off. And here is the guy causing all that noise, that tick, 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 tick. Now my man Kevin is going to show you all the sort of intricacies that work around it here. It's really cool once you get it out and exposed, so come on, we'll show you.
Phasers are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Right, and you got two of them on this engine, some of them you have four. Then if you really want to solve all the problems, you replace the solenoid valves, which is also really expensive. That's a 190,000 mile truck.
Yeah, we're not dropping. Ain't nobody got time to drop a lot of money in a 190,000 mile truck.
Yeah. So what we did, we went to Livernois Motorsports. So these guys, they're right in my neck of the woods, Detroit area. They're strategically right between the big three, so they can do a lot of support engineering for those guys.
Hey, and they're the panacea of all things performance up in Detroit. Literally, man, whether it's Mopar, Ford, Chevy, they got it all covered, all things high performance.
Yeah, all motorsports and builds and everything. So what this kit does is it kind of, when you open it up, we're gonna take these little wedges and we're gonna pretty much lock the phaser in one position so it can't be banging around.
Sure, and I love the kit. It has everything you need. Like I said, great little product, great little repair kit on the cam phaser noise repair kit from Livernois. We really like it.
Now, this is kind of
this is neat, right?
where the magic happens. Now, it's really not that crazy complicated. It's just cool that they made it work. Now, you can imagine if I pump oil into here, and let's say I pump it onto this side of that vein, all these veins are going to start moving one way until this vein hits this side. And if I release that oil or if I pump it onto this side, it's going to drive the veins that way. So what we have for a problem is there's a locking pin. And again, if you have very low oil pressure, the spring will put it in one direction, the pin will lock. Well, that pin wears out, and so you get that first idle condition where it goes da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Now, the second condition is when your whole system oil pressure is too low, the cam wants to drive this thing and push the oil back out. There's not enough pressure coming in.
Okay.
The cam torque, right, all those valve springs, is pushing the oil out, and it kind of empties it out. It gets air in there.
So it
now
starts
this
to
thing
slap.
is banging around violently.
So this is what you hear, this phasing unit, right? Slap it against this metal and this metal, just
totally.
right, just up in here doing this the whole time. And that's all that racket you hear internally in the motor. You're thinking, what is that? Valve train? No, these right here.
Yeah, so you have these little wedges, and I'm not sure which ones will end up. Looks like the blue ones, depending on which model year. And you can find which location has the tight fit. Yep, so that's the
some of them
sloppy
loose.
one.
Some of them are loose. Oh, okay. So now you'll notice that this one, right, when you put it in, really loose, okay? Most of them should be, but there'll be one that's really tight. Again, this one, kind of loose. I think this is going to be our tight one. So,
okay. And that's just going to lock everything into its home position, so you won't be banging off that pin anymore.
Okay. Now when you get it slid down in there, you just go, whoop,
boom,
and there you go.
We're done. Now with everything bolted back together, we can just do a quick flash, so the computer doesn't get confused. It says, well, I told the cam to go over there, and it didn't go over there, and everything goes haywire. A quick flash updates the engine, so it's all happy, and you're good to go.
All right, back at it. The cam phaser is in. We got the timing chain where we had it indexed. It's all lined. A little more to go. Okay. Pretty close there. Now we got it all torqued in. A quick pull. And we get our wedge tool out. So we move to the other side of this. So we'll get hopping on that. A few other things to do on the truck. So when we come back, more things that vibrate, shake, make a lot of noise in a car like this that's got 190,000 miles. Stick around. Okay, so we're working on fixing some noise issues with our F-150 clapper we got in here today. And while we're in problem-solving mode, we're gonna go ahead and swap out some brakes on this old truck as well. Now, the noise with this truck today happened to be what's called the cam phaser. You saw that. But for a lot of you, probably the most common noise you're gonna hear is the screeching and squealing every time you hit the brakes. Now, don't ignore that sound either. That's your car telling you, like, hey man, it's time to replace the brake pads. Those screeching sounds are caused by metal on metal contact. And as your pads wear thin, the brake pad backing plate actually rubs against the rotor. That's causing that squealing noise of metal to metal contact. Now, this not only means that your other brake components are suffering because you got bad brake pads, it also means a huge reduction in stopping power. Worn out brakes are hazardous to you and other drivers on the road. So changing your brake pads take little time and effort, and it's much easier than dealing with, say, bigger problems caused by neglecting your brakes. Now, a great choice for replacing your brake pads is the ceramic pads like this set from Akibono. Now, we're gonna put these on this F-150 today. Akebono is counted on by all kinds of manufacturers to solve all your OE braking issues. And they actually originated this ceramic friction technology, which delivers maximum stopping power. Now you're gonna get longer rotor life and cleaner wheels with a lot less brake dust, and best of all, no more noise. Akebono is the OE supplier for over 270 models, including domestic and import models, and their brake kits are made right here in the USA. Find the right brake pads for your application at your local Federated Auto Parts store.
All right, now we got that big job in the front done, the engine noises are all fixed. Time to do a little bit of brakes before it goes out the door, and we can move on to our other cool truck. All right, get that guy off. We'll throw the new rotor on, and we can move on to our lines. All right, I'd rather do the lines before I get to the pads, so if I get any fluid on them, I don't ruin them. Now, speaking of, these are Crown Performance. I mean, they are the top of the line that you can get for hoses. Now, the construction's completely different. It's got 5 layers of Kevlar and stainless steel, so they're super stout. You've got a firm pedal. They're 4,500 PSI tested and DOT approved, so we know they're gonna be strong. They even have one-piece connectors. So I just have to decide out of the 9 different colors which one I want. So I think I'm gonna go with the red ones. Let's get a little crazy today. I'm gonna check out my hardware, make sure all that's gonna fit right. I got gaskets with my kit, I got clips here. So, all I gotta do is bust off the other end. Yep, swap my hoses out, I can do a bleed. I got my pads to go back in, but that's easy, and I'm gonna work my way around. So we're gonna take a quick break. When you come back, we're gonna roll this guy out. We got our 73 Chevy Stepside, ready to roll right in. Stick around.
Hey guys, welcome back. Now we took a little break from our 04, right?
Yep.
And we got into something really dirty. I'm telling you, whoever was hitting this thing with the ugly stick probably threw their shoulder out, back hurts. They probably laid up in bed, catching naps right now. They're tired.
But by the time we unuglify it, we're gonna be tired.
Yeah,
Now
man.
this is a 73 Chevy. It used to be a Stepside,
Yeah.
right? We've got all the panels off already. We got the bed off of it. So what we're gonna do is hook up with our friends at Brothers and hook this guy up big time with everything from all the sheet metal that we need to replace to suspension.
Yes.
And I think, you know, now we've got this thing stripped away, it's pretty easy to get access. So this is probably the first place to start with a
Right.
nice drop.
Yes, indeed, man. And like we said, Brothers has everything you possibly need, from fenders to a bunch of suspension components. Drop spindles, we're gonna C-notch it, we have springs, we have shackles.
It's gonna be quite the makeover, but I think we need to pick a front or rear, your call, and get started on this thing.
Let's go with the rear.
We're going with the rear. We'll save this stuff for later. Come follow us back here and get started on this baby.
All right, I'm gonna get some jacks there.
Do it. We've got 3 options from Brothers to lower this truck or raise this axle.
Yeah,
so we
man.
can start in the rear. We
Sure.
can go that direction.
Okay, now you obviously see this shackle here. If I put this one in, obviously it's gonna take this point, pivot point from where it is now and drop it a couple inches just by raising that bolt up to here.
Yeah, and I can do the same in the front. So I've got a whole new mount if I want to go that way. If I line these guys up, you can see where I've got a little drop here. So I can combine the two if I want, or if I want to go a big move all at one time, and I got a third way, I can
Right
take
here.
this axle from underneath the spring and I can flip it on top.
Exactly.
That'll buy me about 5 inches versus maybe 2 on either end.
Right. However, when you get dropping 5, 6 inches, you're gonna need some clearance right in here. You may have heard something in reference to a C-notch. Well, that's what we're gonna do back here. And it basically involves cutting this frame out so we can make room for that axle to come up this way.
Yeah, the only problem is this is just a C-channel. It's not really heavy gauge. You put a big notch in here, this thing's gonna be all flimsy, flopsy, and maybe even deadly. You know?
So what we got from Brothers. And again, like we said,
yeah.
they have everything that you need to drop, tune, and fix up your truck. So
Yeah.
check this out. It's simple, it's bolt on. We're gonna scribe it in here, cut that out. Some bolts here, some bolts up there. We can box it on the end if we're going high performance, and we got it made.
So let's get this stuff out of the way, get the rear end out of the way, start grinding some of this stuff off, cutting, welding, bolting. We'll be there. All right, folks, get ready and be careful. Willie has weaponry out and he's ready to use it. So we've got our little relocation from under to over, and we've swung that up so we know about where this little C-notch needs to go. You can see we've transferred our marks, and with that little guide tool, I'm gonna get out of the way. Willie's gonna throw some fire.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Some fantastic cutting and grinding and fitting by my man Willie here. You can see how much clearance we just got with our brother's kit.
Yeah, man.
We got the axle on top now,
Yep.
so we're getting really close. You can see how it comes together with a few shackles in the bottom plate. Now we just got to do the other side, finish this up, and we can start moving forward to that front suspension.
That's right, man. We have a lot more stuff to put on our 1973 Chevy pickup truck. As you can tell, it's missing something. I don't know.
Yeah, lots of stuff. We got lots of sheet metal to do this. It's going to be an ongoing project.
Yes.
But we're out of time right now. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got lots more trucks. I'll let you guess which one.
All right, from Hot Shots Secret. Now, this is their everyday diesel treatment. As you know, when you go to different fueling stations, right, service stations, there's a lot of variations in that fuel from one stop to the next. And this really stabilizes all those inconsistencies that you're gonna find using different fuel stations.
Right. Now, you think about fuel as just gasoline or just diesel, but there's really a lot of content that's added into it for things like bringing up cetane levels, which this has, right? Also for, dispersing moisture, bringing down acid levels.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that are in this 1 little ounce per 25 gallons you dump in your tank that are gonna make sure your system runs perfectly.
Yeah, man, it's gonna improve that fuel economy. It's gonna get rid of that moisture in the lines and so forth. It's from Hot Shots Secret, and it's their everyday diesel treatment.
Now, for all you Ford diesel guys out there sporting that 6-liter, man, a huge home run from TechSmart. It's their vertical fuel conditioning module, otherwise known as a water separator and fuel filter.
Yeah, man, and it's great. It's an OE replacement. That means you get all the bracketry you need, mount it, simple, and they make it really user-friendly as far as serviceable parts. So you pull that, there's the filter, easy to get to and service. This is gonna grab all the contaminants and that water, the moisture out of the system before it reaches the pump. Big time lifesaver, and they make it super easy.
Yeah, and you can see on the bottom there's a little petcock to drain the water out. There's a little sensor in there, so all this stuff is new. And again, it's so easy to bolt on so that all of it is completely new to make sure your fuel system just runs clean. There's no water getting in there. You don't have any hard starts.
Exactly.
Tip top. Now pick it up at Federated Auto Parts.
There you go. All right, from Trico, it's their Force Wiper Blade.
Yeah, now man, wiper blade is one of those things that you forget about, and then you're like, no, you're trapped in a snowstorm or it's raining, and you wish you'd put some new ones on.
Hey, no doubt. And this one has a lot of great features. This spoiler right here, now it's gonna take wind energy and use it as downforce. So you get a clean contact patch across the entire blade. Keeps that window nice, crispy, and clean.
Yeah, how many times have you seen these little blank spots where your wiper's just not touching it? Now, the other cool thing is they got a high glide coating. So this is gonna make it nice, smooth, and quiet. So you don't have those barking seals, where you're,
Right.
Super cool, nice, clean wipe across.
Yeah, and it comes with all the fastening, makes it simple, makes it easy. They vary in size from 14 inch all the way up to 29, so they got you covered on every surface imaginable, man. And I'm telling you, you never realize how important these are until you need them. It's from Trico, it's their Force Blade.
Yeah, man.
All right, from Carter Fuel Systems, this is our fuel module assembly, and right out of the gate, it's an OE fit. That makes it easy installation, but let me show you a couple of the other features that I like on it. Now, they utilize something called a clean screen. Basically, it's a series. You have them internally and externally. It's of strainers, if you will, and that's gonna hold and grab any sort of dirt, debris, particulates, and so forth. Actually, it has 40% more holding capacity, and obviously, that's gonna prolong the life of the pump, especially in those nasty, dirty conditions.
Yeah, you get some of those old tanks, and other things they think about it include, this is a carbon commutator instead of, we think of copper. Now that's gonna be less sensitive to corrosion, so you're gonna have better signals for a longer life of the product.
Amen, man. It comes with all the connections and fasteners, and like I said, it's OE fit. It is from Carter Fuel Systems. It is our fuel module assembly.
Now we've been working on fixing a cam phaser noise issue on this F-150 today. But anytime you're working with timing components, you want to add strength and dependability wherever you can. Let me show you on this Coyote engine, because these are getting more and more popular in racing. This may be one of those areas where you don't think about upgrading your hardware, but it makes a lot of sense, because the extra demands that are on an engine during racing environment really stresses those components and need the upgrades. Now the factory bolts are torque to yield, which means they're designed to permanently stretch once they've been tightened completely. So if you're making any modifications on the engine that requires disassembly, you're gonna have to replace them. This is a great opportunity to upgrade those factory bolts to superior fasteners from ARP. Now these bolts are manufactured from premium grade chromoly material, and they're nominally rated at 200,000 PSI, which is about 30% stronger than a grade 8 fastener. Now, unlike the ones that come from the factory, these fasteners are reusable because they're stronger than the factory bolts, and they don't have to go into yield or permanent stretch. And they also have rolled form threads for better fatigue. Now, these kits are available for several applications in black oxide finish and 12-point wrenching.
This tip is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Hey, welcome back, man. It's been a great truck day.
Yes,
we got
sir.
this F-150 back together on the ground, ready to roll.
Yeah, man, we handled the cam phaser, all right? We're gonna find out how that works here in just a second. Added some brakes to it, not a bad little day. And from our friends at tires-easy.com, they sent us some Discover AT3s. Now these are great tires. They're from Cooper. They got a big lug, but they're real quiet. Think you're gonna love them. But now, dun-dun, the moment of truth.
This is it.
All right, moment of truth.
All right, we're gonna fire this thing up, because you remember when we had this thing in earlier, it had that bad kind of ticking, rattling sound coming in this front engine here. So
Okay, here we go.
smooth as could be.
Ta-da!
Sounds good to me. How about you?
Dude,
Huh?
that's incredible.
Great truck day. Our 73 got a good kickstart. We got the suspension on and lowered, but you know what? We're out of time, so let's go get cruising, man.
Yeah, man, what a difference
relax.
that made, man. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned something. See you next time with Two Guys. Nice
guys.
work, buddy, nice work.
Two Guys Garage is brought to you in part by Federated Auto Parts. Best parts, best people, best service. Vehicle transportation provided by Pilot Transport, auto hauling specialists.